Courtney Hadwin's journey is one of those rare modern entertainment stories where talent, timing, and industry pressure collide in ways that reshape a young life. She first appeared on the global stage as a shy teenager with an explosive, almost otherworldly voice that seemed far too big for her small frame. When she stepped onto the set of America's Got Talent, she wasn't just another contestant. She became a moment the internet could not stop replaying. Her performance turned into a viral sensation almost instantly, and with it came comparisons to legendary soul and rock performers far beyond her years. But behind the applause, golden buzzers, and media headlines was a much more complex reality. Courtney was still a child navigating school, identity, and adolescence while being thrust into an industry built for adults. What followed her breakout success was not a straight path to superstardom, but a quieter, more complicated evolution involving record deals, expectations, creative conflict, and eventual withdrawal. From the spotlight, her story is not simply about fame gained or lost. It is about how young talent is shaped, pressured, and sometimes redirected by forces far beyond music itself. And ultimately, it is about rediscovering control over one's own voice. Early life and musical beginnings. Courtney Hadwin was born in July 2004 in County Durham, England, growing up in a close-knit community where life was simple and grounded. From a young age, she showed signs of unusual musical sensitivity. While other children explored hobbies casually, Courtney gravitated towards singing with a level of intensity that stood out early. Her family quickly noticed that her voice carried a rare emotional depth, even before any formal training began. She grew up in a supportive household where her parents played an active role in encouraging her interests. Music was not treated as a career plan at first, but as something she genuinely loved. She would sing at home constantly, imitating songs she heard and gradually developing her own distinctive tone. Influences from classic soul and rock music shaped her instincts, even if she didn't yet fully understand the genres behind them. As she grew older, she began participating in school performances and small local events. These early experiences helped her gain confidence, though she often remained shy in everyday life. Her personality outside of music was quiet and reserved, which made the contrast with her powerful singing voice even more striking. Teachers and peers began to recognize that she had something special, even if no one could predict how far it might go. These early years laid the foundation for everything that followed. Her talent was not manufactured or trained for fame. It emerged naturally from a child who simply loved to sing. First steps into public performances as Courtney entered her preteen years. Her musical journey began moving beyond her home and school environment into more public spaces. She started attending open mic events and local competitions, often performing songs that required emotional maturity far beyond her age. Despite her shyness, once she began singing, her presence would shift completely, capturing attention in ways that surprised audiences. Her participation in regional talent competitions marked an important transition. She was no longer just a child singing for fun. She was becoming a serious young performer with growing recognition. Judges often commented on the contrast between her personality offstage and her commanding voice onstage. That duality became a defining trait of her early reputation. During this period, she also began receiving more structured vocal training. Lessons helped refine her natural ability, though her raw emotional delivery remained her strongest asset. Unlike many young performers who rely heavily on technical perfection, Courtney's strength lay in expression. She didn't just sing notes, she conveyed feeling in a way that felt older and more lived-in than her age suggested. Opportunities slowly increased. She performed at larger local events and even opened for established acts, gaining exposure to bigger audiences. Each performance added confidence, but also introduced her to the pressures of expectation. Still, at this stage, music remained something joyful rather than burdensome, and her journey was still rooted in discovery rather than industry ambition. Building momentum through UK talent shows, Courtney's rise in the UK music scene became more noticeable when she began entering televised and nationally recognized competitions. Shows like Teen Star UK and other talent platforms gave her structured environments to showcase her abilities to wider audiences. Each appearance refined her performance skills and introduced her to the competitive nature of televised music. Her interpretations of well-known songs often stood out because she did not simply replicate originals. She transformed them. Judges frequently remarked on her ability to bring older musical styles into a modern setting while still sounding authentic. This made her performances memorable, even in crowded competition formats. Her breakthrough moment in the UK came when she participated in The Voice Kids UK. Her blind audition immediately caught the attention of the judges, particularly because of the unexpected power and grit in her voice. As she progressed through battles and live rounds, she consistently delivered emotionally charged performances that resonated with audiences. Although she did not win the competition, her presence left a strong impression. By the end of her run, she had already developed a growing fan base and a reputation as one of the most distinctive young vocalists in the country. More importantly, she had gained experience performing under pressure, which would soon become essential on an even larger stage. The America's Got Talent break through Courtney's introduction to America's Got Talent marked a turning point that would redefine her career. At just 13 years old, she walked onto one of the world's biggest talent show stages, appearing nervous and reserved. Nothing about her appearance suggested what was about to happen. When the music started, however, everything changed instantly. Her performance exploded with energy, grit, and raw vocal power that stunned both the judges and the audience. The contrast between her quiet entrance and explosive delivery created an unforgettable moment. The audience rose to their feet, and the judges reacted with visible shock and admiration. One of the most defining moments came when a judge hit the golden buzzer, sending her directly through to the next stage of the competition. That moment solidified her as a breakout star of the season. Clips of her performance spread rapidly online, accumulating millions of views in a short period of time. Her journey through the competition continued with equally impactful performances. Each round reinforced the idea that she was not just a novelty act, but a serious vocal talent with rare emotional intensity. By the time she reached the finals, she had already gained international recognition, even before the results were announced. Fame, industry attention, and record deal pressure following her AGT success. Courtney was quickly absorbed into the machinery of the music industry. Offers, interviews, and media attention followed almost immediately. She was frequently compared to legendary vocalists, and industry professionals began shaping expectations around her future career. Soon after the show, she signed a recording deal that positioned her within a major label structure. While this was presented as a dream opportunity, it also introduced significant pressure. At a very young age, she was expected to adapt to professional songwriting sessions, branding discussions, and commercial expectations. The transition from performer to industry artist is difficult for many adults, and for a teenager, it became even more complex. Decisions about image, sound, and direction were no longer entirely in her control. Although she remained passionate about music, the environment around her became increasingly structured and demanding. There was excitement, but also tension. The industry saw potential in her unique voice, but also attempted to define it within marketable boundaries. This created an internal conflict between artistic expression and commercial identity. something she would later reflect on as one of the most challenging parts of her early career. Pressure, expectations, and emotional strain as Courtney's career developed under the label system, the pressure to perform consistently began to intensify. She was no longer just a contestant or emerging talent. She was now part of a commercial product being shaped for global audiences. Expectations around output, public appearances, and artistic direction increased rapidly. At her age, balancing normal teenage life with professional demands became increasingly difficult. While most adolescents were focused on school and personal development, she was navigating studio sessions, media obligations, and performance schedules. The contrast between her personal life and professional identity widened significantly. Creative differences also began to surface. While she had a natural inclination toward expressive, raw musical styles, industry expectations often leaned toward structured commercial production. This gap created frustration and confusion about artistic direction. Despite support from family, the intensity of the industry environment took a toll. The excitement of early success gradually became layered with fatigue and uncertainty. What had once felt like an opportunity began to feel like responsibility and pressure combined. Stepping back and slowing down over time, Courtney's public presence began to decrease. After her initial burst of global fame, she gradually stepped away from the constant spotlight. Social media activity slowed, performances became less frequent, and public updates reduced significantly. This shift was not marked by controversy or dramatic exit, but rather a quiet withdrawal. She appeared to prioritize personal development and creative reflection over continuous public exposure. During this period, speculation grew about her future in the industry. For many young artists, stepping back becomes a necessary phase of recalibration. In Courtney's case, it allowed her to reassess her relationship with music outside of external expectations. Rather than continuing at the same pace, she chose a more private and controlled approach to her career. This period was essential in redefining her artistic identity. It marked a transition from externally driven success to internally guided creativity. Independent rebirth and creative control eventually. Courtney re-emerged with a different approach to music. Instead of operating strictly within major label expectations, she began focusing on more independent creative work. This allowed her greater control over songwriting, production, and artistic direction. Working with producers and collaborators who aligned with her vision, she began exploring themes of identity, emotional struggle, and personal growth. Her music shifted toward a more authentic and expressive style, reflecting experiences rather than industry trends. This phase of her career represented a reclaiming of artistic ownership. She was no longer defined solely by viral moments or competition performances. Instead, she began building a catalog of music that reflected who she was becoming rather than who she had been presented as. Her evolution demonstrated a shift from being shaped by the industry to actively shaping her own path within it. Present day and life beyond early fame in her current phase, Courtney maintains a more balanced relationship with public life. She remains active in music, but engages with audiences on her own terms. Social media presence, when used, often focuses on personal expression behind the scenes, creativity, and genuine interaction rather than constant promotion. She has also been open about the importance of mental health, personal boundaries, and artistic honesty. This transparency has helped her maintain a loyal and supportive audience that values her authenticity over manufactured image. Living a more grounded lifestyle, she continues to work on music while avoiding the intense spotlight of her early fame. Her journey reflects a shift from viral recognition to sustainable artistic development. She is no longer defined by a single moment on a talent show stage, but by an ongoing process of growth and self-definition. Conclusion: a career still unfolding, Courtney Hadwin's story is not one of simple rise and fall, but of transformation. She began as a young girl with an extraordinary voice, stepped into global fame before she was old enough to fully understand it, and then gradually navigated the complex realities of the music industry. Her journey highlights both the opportunities and challenges that come with early success in entertainment. While her talent opened doors quickly, the weight of expectation and industry structure shaped much of her early career experience. What makes her story compelling today is not just where she started, but how she continues to evolve. She has moved from viral sensation to developing artist, learning to balance creativity, independence, and personal well-being. Ultimately, her journey is still unfolding. And rather than being defined by one performance or one era, she represents something more ongoing: the process of finding one's voice in a world that often tries to define it first.